Yo, what's up, guys? Happy Friday. We got a lot of promos for today. So PrizePicks has Flex Friday, which means your first bet of the day is risk-free up to $20. It's got to be a flex play, but still really good promo, right? So you can see right here. Yo, what's up, guys? Happy Friday. We got a lot of promos. I got to turn off the sound. Sorry about that. But anyways, without further ado, let's kind of get into some bets right here. So we got PrizePicks Flex Friday. We got to find a play for that. Underdog Fantasy has a promo as well. So they have a promo on Brianna Stewart fantasy points. So they have a boosted payout. And I've gone through this before. You know, Underdog Fantasy in general, they have a 6x payout for these 3-pick entries. Whereas with this promo, they're giving you an 8x payout. And it doesn't matter if you take Brianna Stewart to go over or under, you're still going to be getting an 8x payout. How we looking? What's up, guys? So let me know if the screen has issues. I know that's happened in previous ones. So the first thing, whoa, so you can see PrizePicks bumping the shit out of my lines that I bet earlier. We got Williams under 68.5, rushing yards. Again, I say this in every video, but I follow a very data-driven approach. The data never lies. You can see the entire market has LaShawn Williams at 60.5. No idea what PrizePicks was doing with his line at 68.5. But, pretty clear value on the under. So without further ado, where should we start? That's the hard part, figuring out where to start. So we'll start with Brianna Stewart. Why not? So the first thing we can do is, we kind of want to figure out, should we take her over or should we take her under? So we can kind of see, is there a fantasy score here? Fantasy score. So she has a 43 fantasy score on PrizePicks. I assume things are graded in roughly the same ways. I could be wrong for fantasy scores. So again, if PrizePicks has the line at 43, you want to use that as a data point. Even if you only use Underdog Fantasy, it's still information. Oh shit. Well, yeah, we want to take the under. PrizePicks has her at 43, Underdog 43.55. Okay, maybe a little bit of value on the under. 0.55 is crazy. But without further ado, what we can do is we can kind of go here. Let's go to Underdog Fantasy, and let's look for some picks. Damn, we got some good bets out there. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. We have a lot of bets on Underdog Fantasy. So as kind of a recap, what do we have open? It looks like all these, most of them are insured. So you can see we got some good-looking plays. Obviously, this one looks great. Mediocre start. We're 2 for 3 here, or 2 for 5. So anyways, we'll have to see how it goes if you've been tuning in on the live streams. So why don't we start with Sabrina, right? So we want to find 2 picks on Underdog Fantasy that have value. So what we can do is, again, we can just kind of look across the market, try to find some value. Once this loads, and you can see if you look at my Twitter, DraftKings has a ton of promos. It's overwhelming to look at. They have so many 50% profit boosts, 25% profit boosts. There's a bunch of good plays, but I dropped a lot of them on Twitter, so, make sure to check that out. But anyways, let's go here, and let's check out our girl, Sabrina. She is very good, right? So you can see here, right? Again, I follow a very data-driven approach. You can do what you want. Sabrina, her line is 5 assists on Underdog, right? All these other books, DraftKings is a $10 billion company. They have a really sophisticated model. They're moving around lines based on where action's coming into the market. What's up, guys? So what we can do is, what we can do is we can take, we want to take the under here for Sabrina. And it's very simple. Data-driven sports betting, right? DraftKings has the line lower at 4.5. That's information. DraftKings is taking bets, moving around lines. PrizePicks is a $1 billion company. They're setting her line at 4.5. FanDuel, another $10 billion company, setting her line at 4.5. ParlayPlay. So we use all, it becomes pretty clear, Sabrina under 5 seems like a pretty good bet to go with. But we're already taking Brianna Stewart, who's on the Liberty, under in fantasy points. So maybe we don't want to pair Sabrina under 5 assists with that. Maybe it pairs well, maybe it doesn't. I'm not really sure. But you can see we got some other bets we can go with as well. Damn. So this play I think I'm already on. Well, we can take a look right here. So I'm not on it. So if you look right here, we have we can take Chris under 5 receptions. And let's go to the positive EV tool. We can also there's just been a lot of value recently in the market. We found a lot of bets on live stream. I was up all night tweeting out bets. There were just a lot of bets. So we got, Godwin under 5.5 receptions as well. So this play seems good. So again, like, underdog strategy is pretty simple. They give you the same fucking payout if you take an over or an under. So to beat underdog, what you want to do is you want to compare their lines, to those on the sports book. So if you go through the math of underdog, I've gone through all their different payout structures, 3 picks, 4 picks, 5 picks. What you're going to see is on underdog, generally, you have to win, right? If you win these over-unders, like Chris over-under 5.5 receptions, if you win these over-unders, if you have a win rate above 55%, you're going to be profitable. So you can see right here, this play looks absolutely insane. There's just a lot of bets right now. So let's go to NFL receptions, right? You can take a look. And we're getting the added benefit of having a promo. So let's just, I'm going to try to talk less and let's just fire off a bunch of bets because that's fun, right? So we can see here under 5.5 receptions. So why do we like this play, right? Well, first of all the sports books have his under heavily favored, right? So you can see here, all the books have his under heavily favored. So this is a play winning about 55% of the time. And then you can also see if we check out prize picks, it's okay, again, the sports betting market is extremely fragmented. They have his line at 5. That's information, right, that we want to use to make better bets. So let's refresh this and let's take a look. We want one more pick we can go with, and then maybe we can make another 5-pick entry. So I'm going to try to move quickly. Wow, there are just a lot of bets right now. So then it's I don't really give a shit what sport I'm betting on. If there's an edge, there's an edge and we'll bet on it. So you can see right here, right? Gallon under 5Ks, it's all the books have his line at 4.5. All the other fantasy sites like Prize Picks have his line at 4.5. So it's okay, clear value on the under. So what we can do for my promo bet is these are the 3 picks I'm going to pair together if you want to tail. Again, we're getting an 8x payout. It's only a $10 max bet size. Will underdog ever limit under $100? I'm not really sure, but good question. So what we can do is I'm going to lock in this promo play, and then I'm going to try to fire off real quick another 5-pick entry afterwards, right? So we got this promo play for $10, and it's okay, that's great. But again, the promo is only for $10, so it's okay, what I really want to do is I want to move quick, and I want to create another entry. And now we can go to Sabrina. We can take her under 5 assists, right? I'm going to want to play a 5-pick with insurance. 5 picks are fun, so this play is clear as day. All the other fantasy sites have Chris's line at 5 receptions. All the sports books have his under heavily favored. So that's a play winning above 55% of the time. Damn it. Someone's knocking on my door. Give me 1 sec. Or actually, let's just lock in it. Damn it. 1 sec. So what we can do, and my third pick is going to be Matt Olson under 2.5 bases. So, well, okay. 1 sec. Hey, how are you? Not bad. You need to come in? Yeah, I gotta check in all the plans out here. Okay, come in. Do you mind if I'm on a video call? Yeah, that's fine. Just if you need anything, let me know. Okay, I'm just gonna go through all the rooms so I can find all the appliances, and then when you're done, just meet up with me, man. I like your hat. Thank you, man. Yeah, of course. Alrighty. Anyways, let's go through some bets. So we got Chris under 5.5 receptions. We got Zach Gallen under 5 strikeouts. And then let's just refresh this. Let's try to lock in some bets. I'm going to talk less on this live stream. And we'll just try to lock in a bunch of plays. Okay. So boom, we have 1, 2. What else do we like? What else do we like? Sam Howell over 32.5 passing attempts. You can see in general, all the books have his over pretty heavily favored. We have Trevor Williams under 3.5 earned runs. Damn, so we got a lot of bets right now. So we can go here. Right, we want to go to Trevor Williams under 3.5 earned runs. Why is this pick winning above 55% of the time? Well, take a look at, the data. All the books, there are a lot of bets on underdog right now. Wow, it's crazy. And then we want to take Howell over 32.5 passing attempts. So there we go. And there we got a nice little 5-pick entry on Underdog Fantasy. And then we'll go over to Flex Friday. Although there are a lot of bets on Underdog right now. So here's the 5-pick. I'm going to go ahead and lock in. You've hit your limit. Oh, I'm only going to be able to play this for 90 bucks. Okay. And I've already hit my limit on Sam Howell, so I guess I'm going to need to replace this. And this play seems good. And again, I follow a very data-driven approach to my bets, right? If we look at his RBI line, why do we want to take the under? It all boils down to why is this pick winning above 55% of the time? And if you take a look at this right here, right, we can just look at all the sports books, treat them as data sources, and see where's his line, right? So you can see all the sports books, DraftKings, they have him heavily favored to go under, right? To not have an RBI. Obviously, best player in the MLB right now, but regardless, that's where the value is. We got 5 unders right here. And I'm only going to be able to play this for 90. The projections are inactive. Please remove those picks and try again. So anyways, let's refresh this. What do we want to go with? Tyreek Hill over 6.5 receptions. I already bet this. So I already bet on Tyreek Hill. We already have him in this slip, so I'm not going to be able to include him again. But what do we like? Austin Riley over 2 hits plus runs plus RBIs. All the books have his line at 2.5. Sure, whatever. We can go with that. Or we could just go with the 4-pick entry, but this seems good enough. So now we have 4 unders. We have Gallen under. We got Riley over. We got Trevor Williams under in earned runs. We got Sabrina under an assist. This play looks great. All the other books have line at 4.5. So it's like, okay, we can roll with this. 5-pick entry with insurance. And I'm only going to be able to play this for $90 again. So pitchers on opposing teams you can't pair together. Okay, so I'm not going to be able to pair that. So whatever. I'm going to play this as a 4-pick with insurance, which works as well. 4 unders. It looks like the most random slip ever. We got baseball, we got football, and we got the WNBA. But if that's where the value is, that's what we'll play. Damn. So that can be our first pick on Underdog Fantasy. What's up, guys? Jock Market has a promo. Let's do a slip. We'll do that. Yeah, so how does Fliff work? It's not DoorDash. I got getting some things done in the house. But anyways, let's go over to Prize Picks. And then we can go through Jock Market. We'll just go through all the promos. I'll do a longer live stream later, but let's just try to get these plays done. Damn, so we got a lot of combo props. I'm going to get rid of those. Combo props, I think, some states you can only bet on combo props. So here's an interesting play, like between Prize Picks and Hot Streak. Hot Streak has his line at 223.5. For passing plus rushing yards, Prize Picks has the line at 233.5. But for Prize Picks, right, it's very similar to Underdog, right? They have fixed payouts, right? Any 3-pick entry you create, you're going to be getting a 5x payout on Prize Picks, whereas on Underdog Fantasy, again, you're getting a 6x payout. So the only thing you need to remember, take into consideration, is how many picks you're going with, because the strategy changes from platform to platform. On Underdog Fantasy, 4 picks with insurance are good, whereas on Prize Picks, 4-pick flex plays, 4 picks with insurance are not good. So I don't play them. So what we want to do is we can go here and we can pull up my little Prize Picks math spreadsheet, which I can also put in the chat. So on Prize Picks, very simple, right? We win these over-unders correctly above 54.25% of the time. We're going to have a positive ROI, right? So if you can get these over-unders, your OUs, your picks correctly, your bets correct 56% of the time, you're going to have an ROI of 12%, which is pretty hard to do, right? You got to win 56% of your picks, only lose 44% of your picks. It's not easy to do. But still, it's possible. So if we take a look at our boy Jake Elliott, you can see here, right? If we check out the NFL, you'll notice, and you can go to all the sports books. You can do this manually as well if you want to. But you can see all the books have Jake Elliott heavily favored to go over. So that would be a play you want to include. But obviously, this isn't going to work for Flex Friday, because if you go to Prize Picks and you look at Flex Friday, It's only available on flex plays, and all of the players have to play today. So this NFL shit isn't going to work. We're going to need to, and it doesn't really look like there's a lot of value in the MLB anyways. Damn, so is there not enough value? We may have to go to some combo props. I just haven't bet on combo props that much, so... But if that's what we got to bet on, that's what we got to bet on. So let's put in all these plays. And let's take a look. I wish I could filter by date, but I'm not able to. So you can see a lot of these bets are for Sunday. There's not a ton of value for the games right now. So we can do a prize pick slip, but we just may not be able to do one for Flex Friday right now because I just don't see a bunch of... So what we can actually do is we can filter out the NFL. That'll help with zoning in on games that are today. College football, I don't think it really matters. But if we go here and we filter out the NFL, then maybe we can create a Flex Friday. Because again, this is a risk-free bet. You lose, you get your money back, right? Like that's the type of promos we got to be taking advantage of. So here's what we got on Underdog Fantasy if you're just tuning in. Brianna Stewart, I took her under. It probably doesn't really matter if you take either way. I mean, it's not going to be a huge difference. Not a ton of books, unsurprisingly, have fantasy points for the WNBA. But you can see, like, Brianna Stewart, her line is lower. Her line is lower at 43 on prize picks, so maybe some value in taking the under. And again, this play, you know, you kind of want the higher profit margin plays. So the top plays are obviously better. So we can refresh this. Anyways, are there any prize picks plays we want to go with for today? No, I don't want the NFL. So what we can do is we can filter out combo props for the NFL. I'm not sure why they're still showing up. And hopefully we can, you know, find some decent bets to go with for Flex Friday. And obviously, even if, you know, you can't find a bunch of good picks to go with, this is still definitely a promo you want to lock in. So you can see it's all just a bunch of picks for the Liberty, Connecticut game. There's some plays for Aces Wings, but that's not going to be enough to get us to a 5-pick entry. So there's just not a ton of value right now. So, you know, I'm not going to play the prize picks promo right now, but what we can do is we can, damn. So now we got some plays showing up on we got more plays showing up on Underdog Fantasy. So let's check out this play. Kenny Pickett, right? It looks like lines are moving. So again, like I've explained this before, but these books are always moving around lines, you know, because the market is always like, the market's always reacting to new information. A lot of people wonder, like, oh, why did this MLB bet show up now? Why did lines move now? So a lot of times it's like, you know, official starting lineups come out. A coach could say something like, hey, you know, we think we're going to be passing the ball more. I don't know. But you get the point. It's like all those types of things move around, you know, the market. If, you know, for example, whoever's pitching against the Yankees today, if all these hitters have high strikeout rates, then that pitcher, the starting pitcher for the opposing team, his strikeout line has to get more juiced. Best 2 picks on prize picks had to my flex slip. Kind of had a feeling bookies acting slick today. Yeah, I don't see much on prize picks right now. So I think the fantasy optimizer, or I'm pretty sure, it went through some changes just to add more sports books, which is good, right? So more data points. So before it showed a lot of like, you know, there's only discrepancies between prize picks and underdog. So some good middle bets. But now it's like, you know, these are all bets where you have a ton of data points telling you a bet is good, which is good, right? You always want more data points unless you're middle betting. If you're middle betting, it's just like you bet the over 11 on prize picks, you hit the under 13 on Underdog Fantasy, you know, then you don't really care because you're like buying a stock at 11, you're selling it for 13. Whereas when we're placing bets outright, you know, it really matters. So what do we want to go to? So maybe we do a prize pick slip, but we just do it for Sunday and apologize that it's not going to work for Flex Friday, but I'm sure we'll find something else later in the day. So what we can do is let's get rid of these combo props. for now. We can use some of them maybe in Flex Friday if the market moves around, but I just don't see a ton of stuff on Prize Picks right now. So let's refresh this. Yo, what the fuck? Okay. So what do we want to go with? So the first play, we had this last week on Underdog Fantasy as well. It cashed. Jake Elliott over 1.5 field goals. Feels good, right? Again, all the books have his, I follow a very data-driven approach. All the books have his over heavily favored. This is a good play to go with. I'm never going to switch it up and just be like, oh, I decided to randomly fucking bet something today. Here's another one that looks good, right? There's a lot of bets on Prize Picks. A lot of the value sometimes is in kicking points. So this is for the London game. So if we go back here, right, we can take a look here. Whoa, so we got some bets showing up. Maybe we go quickly on Underdog Fantasy, though, before this line moves. So we can go back here and we can, open up Underdog Fantasy and see what we wanted to go with. So again, on Underdog, it's very simple. Any pick winning above 55% of the time is profitable. If you want a positive ROI on Underdog, all you have to do is win your player prop over-unders above 55% of the time. So, you kind of turn to the sports books. And then on Prize Picks, it's, 50, it's a little lower. It's 54.25%. So like Matt Gay, over 6.5 kicking points, why is this bet winning? Why do I believe this bet has a win rate? Like when you're placing a bet, we got 3 kicking overs. But when you're placing a bet on Prize Picks and you're debating if you should bet it or not, obviously if it's a promo, like Flex Friday, you can kind of bet whatever you want and you'll probably make money. It's a fucking promo, right? Like Underdog Fantasy boosting their payouts to 8x, pretty easy, But what was I gonna say? The only question you're asking yourself is, why is this play? Why do I believe it's winning above 54.2% of the time? And you can see here, I'm just following all the data points in the betting market. Every sports book, all these books are sophisticated. They all have the line, his line, heavily favored to go over. Pinnacle, which is known to be one of the sharper, more sophisticated bookmakers, they have him heavily favored to go over. So it's like, okay, probably want to take the over, That seems like a play winning above 54.2% of the time. So what about this play on Kenny Pickett? Why do we think this is a play winning above 55% of the time, which is, what percentage of our picks we need to win to be profitable on Underdog? So we can go over to passing attempts, and you can see here, it's like, okay, Underdog has his line at 30.5. Most of these other books have his line at 31.5, or DraftKings, they have his line at 30.5 as well, but they have the over heavily favored, right? They have the over as a minus 166 favorite, right? On Underdog, you win your picks above 55% of the time, you're going to be profitable. And DraftKings has this as a minus 166 favorite. The same way Jake Elliott's favored to go over, Kenny Pickett's favored to go over. Other sports books, right, have his line at, so let's go back here. You can see some other sports books, they have his line, like Barstool has his line at 31.5. So first of all, they have the line higher at 31.5, which makes us like the over 30.5 more. And they have the over favored. So this is a no-brainer play, right? And then let's go to Alyssa Thomas. Let's go. We're cooking. Damn, there's a lot of touchdown bets coming up. So we want Alyssa Thomas. Alyssa Thomas. We want to take her... What did we want to take? Under 8.5 assists. I don't even see that lineup. So maybe we have to refresh. Let's see if they have an assist line. Under 8.5 assists. So this is another good play to go with. So it's like, okay, we're rolling. We got some MLB picks. We just locked in the Zach Gallen pick, so we're not going to be able to reuse that. Sam Howell, I already bet, so I'm not going to be able to reuse that. What else do we want to go with? Tyreek Hill, we already locked in. I'm not going to be able to reuse that. So what we can do is we can go back here and we can just filter this. We can see what picks on Underdog do we think are winning about 55% of the time, right? Because that's what's going to make a profitable bet on Underdog Fantasy. So obviously not exactly a great profit margin, but you need 5 picks in your entry. And again, like in sports betting, you're never going to get ROIs on your bets of like 70%. But what's powerful about sports betting is even if you have a 2% ROI on your bets, in general, I mean, these games are, Sunday, but in general, you're betting on games that are that day. So if you have a 2% ROI on your bets and you're betting every day, it compounds quickly. 60% a month, even if you could just have a 2% ROI on your bets. And that doesn't relate to like if you can actually get an edge or not. It's just how it works. 2% a day, 60% a month. So we can lock in this. In 3-pick entries, you want to take no insurance. Again, Underdog's giving you a 6x payout. So I'm going to lock this in, and that seems pretty good. Chill the fuck out, all 22 scouting. Anyways. Can you make long-term profit on 2 or 3 picks? You can, it's just harder, right? So if you look at prize picks, let's say, just as an example, damn, so they already moved that first pick. So let's say you can win these over-unders correctly 56% of the time. Like, you got to remember, that's pretty good, right? You're winning 56% of your over-unders. You're only losing 44%. That's pretty good, right? But in a 2-pick power play, and you can play around with the math. I've shared this spreadsheet a bunch of times. For a 2-pick power play, your ROI would be negative 6%, right? Whereas for a 5-pick flex play, again, your ROI would be 11.9%. So you go from being super profitable on prize picks to super unprofitable just by changing your slip type. So long story short, you technically could make money playing 2-pick power plays. If you could win, let's say you can win these over-unders 60% of the time, but that's hard. You're beating the books on 60% of your picks. You're only losing 40. I mean, that's really hard to do. So you can see here, if you were winning 60% of your picks, your ROI for 2-pick power plays would be 8%. And this is literally just like the payouts of prize picks broken down. Like there's nothing to argue about here. A lot of people will be like, that's not how prize picks works. I think this is how you make money on 2-pick power plays. It's like, this is literally just like the payouts. So if you could win 60% of your picks, your ROI for 5-pick flex plays would be 43%, right? So what we can do, I got to charge my computer. Throw this on the charger. But let's look for some prize, or wait, no, we need to finish Underdog, or I wanted to lock this in. Shit, man. So there we go. We got a 3-pick entry. I do like Underdog's 5 picks are very marginally better. But again, like, it's easier to find 3 good picks as opposed to 5. Even though 5 picks are like very marginally better than 3-pick entries. So ideally, when you can, you should take a 5-pick with insurance. But again, it's very marginal. It's kind of like 5 versus 6-pick flex plays on prize picks. So let's go back to prize picks. And you can see they're bumping the shit out of these lines. So let's try to move a little quicker. So we can go back here to prize picks. And it's like, okay, oh, here we go. We got an Emma. Oh, whoa. So we're going to do a Flex Friday real quickly. So please try to, if you want to tail. Obviously, if you don't want to tail, then do whatever you want. But let's get rid of some of these NFL props, right? Because we need to focus on things that are today. And shoot. Okay. So what we want to take is so it looks like lines are moving in this the Cubs-Brewers game. Maybe lineups just came out. I don't know, but like you can see here, lines are, starting to move. Rhea's heavily favored to go over. So it's like, okay, like that's a good pick we want to take. And then you can see Kyle Hendricks heavily favored to go over. So it's like, okay, that's a pick in the same game. So maybe we're official starting lineups just released. And then it also pairs nicely, right, with Nico Horner under 3.5 hits plus runs plus RBIs, right? If the pitchers are getting strikeouts, then the other players, right, the hitters, are less likely to get on base. So that works well. Although we can see we have this too. Damn. So this is turning out to be a nice slip. I don't know. Well, it looks like they already removed this pick. On Christopher Morel, no run scored. All the books have him heavily favored to go under. So what we really need to do is move quickly before they start bumping these lines. So let's go to the WNBA, and we want to take Thomas's combo prop with Hayes. We want to take them over 28. And then let's see if we can do this quickly. Right? And again, this bet's going to be risk-free. By that, I mean if our bet loses, we get our money back. So what we can do is we can go here, Plum Wilson under 44.5 points. So, okay. Nope, I got to go back to the WNBA. And I'm trying to move quickly because it seems like these lines are getting bumped pretty quickly on Prize Picks. Where the fuck is this? So it looks like they already bumped that one combo prop, so I have to refresh, but whatever, we'll just keep going down. Here we go. Under 10.5 combo prop MLB. So this play looks decent. Right? What's the... Oh, okay. So this is what I want. And again, like, the bet is going to be risk-free. So you actually want to bet 33-33. Damn it. So that got bumped. Fucking Christ. So what we can do is we can go to Wilson, Young, and we want to take them under 42.5. So again, like the good lines aren't going to move, or are going to move pretty quickly. So we can go here, and we want this under. Right? So again, you would want to lock this in for 33-33. But you can see Prize Picks limits me to a max of 25 bucks. So it's like, whatever, I'll hit this for 25 bucks, the max I can. And there we have it, right? And again, like, why do we like this play? You know, even though this is a really good promo, you still want to maximize value. You still want to maximize your profit margin. So you can see all the books have him heavily favored to go over. Prize Picks is going to give you the same damn payout if you take him to go over or you take him to go under, right? And also, it pairs kind of nicely with this, you know, if he's getting strikeouts, then I guess, you know, opposing hitters are less likely to get on base. Good?
2 seconds, Cassie.
Yeah, what's up?
Right on the side, there's some locked doors. Is there anything in there?
No.
Is that just space?
No.
Okay, cool. Garage, anything in there?
No.
Plants?
Nothing in the garage.
Cool, I'm gonna run some tests right now. Don't touch any appliances, and I'm gonna come back inside and test everything out.
Okay, thanks, man. So there we got our first pick. And there's our Prize Picks taco. But we can continue going through Prize Picks. And again, we can see also just like, okay, like, did Underdog, did official starting lineups just come out? And that's exactly what happened, right? You can see right here. The official starting lineups came out, which started to move around. Like, whoever Colin Ria is, who does he pitch for? He's the Brewers pitcher. The Cubs lineup came out. These players are more likely to strike out. So the market has to move, juice has to move towards his over. These players are more likely to strike out. And that makes us like the over on Prize Picks more. So that's a good pick. And again, if you're just tuning in, this is what I went with for the Underdog promo. They have a pretty good promo. And then you can see JockMKT has a promo as well. Again, this promo, although JockMKT's promos are falling off a fucking cliff, they suck in general. Like you can see here, 13-yard, you know, well, that's definitely not receiving yards. QB, that's definitely meant to be passing yards. But regardless, what we can do is we can go to JockMKT. And what do we like? So on JockMKT, if you want to pair, you can't pull JockMKT up. Like, there's not a website you can bet through, unfortunately. But Joe Burrow, over 36.5 passing attempts. Most books have his line at 37.5. Like, that seems like a good play to go with. Mac Jones, over 32. You can see there's a lot of line discrepancies right now, you know, on JockMKT. Kevin Concepcion, under 5.5 receptions. Sportsbooks have his line at 4.5. Michael Thomas, under 5. I think I'm already on his over 4.5 on a different platform. Trevor Lawrence, under 1.5 passing TDs. So JockMKT actually has the exact same payout structure as Prize Picks for these. This play looks incredible, right? So like this would be a good thing to pair on JockMKT. You want to go with 3-pick in general or 5-pick entries, and the payouts for the 5-pick entries are the exact same as a Prize Picks 5-pick flex. And again, this is our this is our Flex Friday bet. So if it loses, we'll get our money back up to $20. But again, if you go 3 for 5, right, like up to $20. So if I go 4 for 5, I'll make money. 5 for 5, I'll make money. If I go 2 for 5, 1 for 5, or 0 for 5, if we do that, I'm going to get back I'm going to get back 20, even though I bet 25. But the reason you want to bet 33, and again, I just get limited to a max of $25, but is if we go 3 for 5, I only get a 0.4x payout. So I actually lose $15, right? I get a payout of $10 if I go 3 for 5. I get 40% of my money back, so $10. So I lose $15, and again, PrizePicks is going to give me the money back. So again, I can't bet Jock Market through, a website like Underdog Fantasy, but we'd want to take this over. So we can take a look at Plumber. I mean, how is this value? We can kind of pull up the OddsJam screen, sportsbook screen, right? And we can take a look right here and just be like, okay, like how's our boy Plumber doing? Plumber, and you can see all the books have his line, at like 247.5 to 250.5. So obviously this promo is good enough to bet. And then what we'd want to pair it with is Trevor Lawrence under, Everett under. You could take all these. Gallup under, Kincaid over. You got a nice little 5-pick entry, right? And again, like I follow a very data-driven approach. You can do what you want. If you think you're smarter than the market, whatever you think, man. You really think you're like people who really think they can just, it's crazy. I mean, it's crazy to me. People think they can just watch sports and beat markets. It's absolutely insane. Under, over, you can see we got Terry under 4.5. So you can play a 3-pick entry. Obviously, this play on Trevor Lawrence is best. You can see who knows what happened, but clearly some information came out because all sportsbooks had him, as roughly even to go over or under -110, -110, and then they ripped odds lower to -150. Who knows, right? Maybe the coach said we're going to run the ball more. Maybe a star running back is more likely to play. I don't know, but the line moved, right? Which is priced into the market. Kind of the same way, like if a company makes a lot of money and there's a lot of good news about them, the stock price goes higher. It's reflected in the market. That's how fucking markets work, right? The market reflects new information, which is why it's always funny to me when people look at these graphs on PrizePicks. It's like, first of all, PrizePicks is a sports book. If they're showing you a graph, it's not useful, right? Like this is like, should be obvious, but if they're showing you a graph, it's not useful. This is useless. This doesn't have any effect on anything, right? If she went over or under, if she's injured, if the Liberty don't have a star player today, that's all baked into the market. And it seems obvious, but there's a lot of people who will be like, oh, it's snowing, I'm going to take the under. It's like the total's already come down. That's already reflected in the market. So we can go to Fliff as well. So what's nice about Fliff, and I've been dropping some FanDuel bets like that on Twitter, but I'll try to keep these live streams more. I love FanDuel. There's a lot of good bets on FanDuel. Like, look at this play from the positive EV tool. We're getting Rodgers to get a hit over 1.5 hits at +185. All the other books have this like +140, right? So that's crazy. And again, this is because all these books try to set lines independently, and sometimes they screw up, which is exactly what happened, with PrizePicks on like this Colin Rio play. They clearly screwed up and were late, to the line movement, to the, based on lineups. And you can see they already bumped it. They bumped it because it's a good bet. If sportsbooks are never moving the odds after you place a bet, your bets suck. You're not going to make money, right? So anyways, we got +185 right here. All the other books pricing this around +130. But let's go to Fliff. Again, what kind of sucks about FanDuel DraftKings is obviously they're only legal in 15 states. But you can see there's some good bets on Fliff as well. So although sports books, they work a little differently, right? Like Underdog Fantasy, PrizePicks have these fixed payouts. A 5-pick flex play always pays out, 10 to 0.4x. Underdog Fantasy, a 3-pick entry always pays out, a 3-pick entry always pays out 6x. So the strategy is a little different. On Underdog, to be profitable, all you got to do is win 55% of your over-unders. Whereas on sportsbooks, like they have variable pricing based on you selecting over versus under. But the same strategy of finding value in the market, treating every book as a data point, still applies. And you can see there's some pretty dang good bets right now. Washington Commanders under 7.5 first half team total. But it looks like the best bet available right now is Washington minus 19.5. Looks pretty freaking good. You're getting plus 105 on Fliff, and no other sportsbook is even giving you plus money with an average price of minus 107. So we can go back to Underdog. Oh boy. So these are the types of, oh my gosh. Esports. Wow. So like this is just insane, right? Like look at this guy. This is crazy, man. So if we take a look here, Night Raid, his line is 11 on Underdog Fantasy. And then if we check out, you know, Prize Picks, like this is why there's so much money to make in sports betting. If you just like use your brain and think about like strategy, right? It's like this line is 11 on Underdog. It's 8.5 on Prize Picks. So what we could do is you could middle bet this. Again, I have such low betting limits on Prize Picks. There's basically no point in middle betting anymore. But hit the over 8.5, hit the under 11. Over 8.5, under 11. If he has 9 or 10 headshots, you win both bets. If he has 11 headshots, you know, you're going to win, you know, you're over on Prize Picks and you're going to push on Underdog Fantasy. So it's just crazy, right? I mean, it's like seeing a stock at $11 on E-Trade and $8.50. It's $8.50 on Fidelity and E-Trade, right? Like it would be so easy to be a day trader, and that's why sports betting is so profitable. It's because of just how inefficient the market is, how fragmented it is. All these books try to set lines independently, and clearly they don't do that good of a job at it. So let's just go quick. Again, try to follow along because I'm just going to rip through some of these bets. So we got our boy Night Raid under 11, right? Headshots. Other books have his line at 8.5. So it's like that play seems good, right? Then we can go here to our girl. I don't know how to pronounce her name, to be honest. But you can see her line's at 5 assists, right? Where do the sports books have her? You know, again, like... Also, another thing to mention is a lot of people will say things like, oh, why don't you just place one bet a day? It's like, first of all, you know, if you're profitable at all, you either lose money, but some sportsbooks will cut back your bet sizes if you're profitable. If you don't have any sportsbooks that limit you, you're not a good sports bettor. You're a losing sports bettor. And that's just like a fact. These books aren't stupid. If you're making money, however you're making money, they may reduce your bet sizes a little bit. But the good thing is, you know, there's hundreds of sportsbooks out there. And there's so many promos, right? Like, look at this. ParlayPlay. They have a $100 deposit match right now. And I get $20 for free. It's like, this is a free $20. It's crazy. So, like, I'll have to remember to do this later. I think they do it every single Friday. They run this, like, you know, 20% promo. But anyways, let's go to Underdog because there's a lot of these esports plays, and they will end up moving. So let's go back here. CSGO lines just dropped. Yeah, I know. I saw that. So let's hit some CSGO plays. It's like, wow. There are just a lot of bets. Oh, my God. So this play, though, you know, when you have players in the same game, you want to be a little mindful of correlation. And correlation is pretty confusing, honestly, with CSGO. So what I want to do is I want to skip over this. And, oh my God. So like this, here we go. So here's a 3-pick entry I'm going to lock in. No. So we want to take, you know, and again, like, it doesn't matter. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, the strategy for betting on, you know, a lot of people don't think the same strategy applies to NFL betting versus, you know, where is this guy? Like the same, like Underdog Fantasy, whatever sport you're betting on, it all boils down to can you win over 55% of your picks. I'm literally just breaking down, given their payouts, what percentage of your picks do you have to win. So why do we like this play on, You know, let's pull up the sportsbook screen. We can kind of take a look at the data, right? So look at this, right? Underdog has his line at 274.5. DraftKings is at 289.5. That's crazy. 15-yard gap. You could middle bet this, hit the over here, hit the under here. And again, like, you have to remember, like, his line, he's not going to throw for 0 yards. He's not going to throw for 1,000 yards. So, like, you know, almost all of the time, he's going to end up between, like, 250 and 350 yards, or 200 and 400. That's probably, like, 98% of his distribution. So, like, the yards where a player's line are centered around are very impactful. So you could hit the under on DraftKings, you could hit the over on Underdog Fantasy. That's an option. Anyways, we can try to get a 5-pick entry down, but again, only 1 pick per game for CSGO is generally what I do and recommend doing, just because the correlation can be a little confusing. Oh my gosh. Cam Camper, his over is heavily favored. So let's go here. Man, Underdog Fantasy, I feel like they have not been watching their lines. There has been a lot of opportunity recently. So Danger, over 15 headshots. Other books have his line at 17.5. So maybe, though, what we do is I'm going to play this as a 3-pick entry, is we can just play a bunch of 3-pick entries because there are a lot of good bets for the same game, right? In this Vantage Mind Freak game. There's a lot of good CSGO line discrepancies. And again, like, you know, Super, right? His line's 34.5 on Underdog. It's crazy. Like, you're basically creating your own Taco Tuesday, right? Like, they have his line at 34.5. All the other books have his line at 38 or 37.5. Like, that's crazy if you think about it. Crazy, crazy, crazy. So we have our first pick in and trying to move quickly. We'll try to lock in some bets. So again, we have our 1 pick from this game. We got our boy Kobe. But again, 1 pick per game because that's kind of what you want to do. And then we want Camper over 3.5 receptions. Why do we want that? All the sports books have his over heavily favored. Danger over 15 headshots. Maybe we like this play a little better. I mean, you can kind of pick, right? You can see Prize Picks, ParlayPlay have his line at 17.5. Damn, so there are just a lot of bets right now. Oscar under 37.5, and we can lock in this play. And again, like, even if you had an ROI of 20% on Underdog Fantasy, my max betting limit is $100 because I've made too much money on this platform. So the hard part is getting down the volume. The hard part isn't the strategy to beating them, it's getting down the volume. Because even if I had a 20% ROI, if I placed 1 bet a day, that's $20 a day. You know, that's not good. So here we have a 3-pick entry. Go ahead and lock it in. And again, if you're just tuning in, I'm not sure which of these plays are still available, but here's what I went with for the 5-pick flex. You know, all your picks have to be for the same game. Prize Picks Flex Friday. If you lose, you get your money back up to $20. Nope. So let's go here. Damn. So now we got some other picks coming up. We got Gay and Everett. So it's like, okay, like, you know, again, it's the same strategy. So it looks like this line was on Prize Picks. Now it's on Underdog as well. So it's like, okay, like, I'm just going to keep firing. I mean, I guess. I guess we're just going to keep firing. So let's go back to Underdog. Let's refresh this. And it's very simple. Why is this pick winning above 55% of the time? All the sportsbooks have the over heavily favored. Pinnacle, which is known to be a sharper, smarter sportsbook, however you want to think about it, they have his over all the way up at -168. Again, I only get a $100 max bet size per player per day, so I'm not going to be able to include Night Raid again. I'm not going to be able to include Oscar or Danger again. But we have 2 good picks, so I'm not going to be able to take, you know, so if we refresh this, it's like I'm going to need a new pick. Did we already hit Supar? Over 34.5, right? And again, like, we can just look at kind of how's the data shaken out. Well, his line's 34.5 here, 38, right? You could middle this if you have good betting limits on Prize Picks. Hit the over 34.5, the under 38. I mean, that's beautiful. If he has 35, 36, 37, You win both bets. If he has 38, you'll push on Prize Picks. You'll win on Underdog. No brainer. Right? So we can go ahead and we can lock this in. Damn, we are just going today. It's going to be a crazy fucking weekend on Underdog Fantasy. And again, the same strategy applies to Prize Picks, ParlayPlay. It's like a full-time job. Remembering what books are giving out free money on a given day, free $20 on ParlayPlay. Like, you can make... Maybe we just do this. What the fuck? Deposit. Yes, $100. Deposit, deposit, deposit. Why aren't you letting me click? There we go. Free $20. Now you know my CVV. So anyways, now we got a free $20 on ParlayPlay. They run this promo every week. I always get mad at myself if I forget to log in on Friday because they gave me a free $20. So what we can do is we can go back here. I did not mean to close it. And you can kind of just pick two random things. The only thing is for this, for your promo funds, you have to go with, you have to go with 2 pick entries for your promo funds, which I can kind of show you. So we want to take the under 46 here, right? Ooh, wow. There are some good bets, but maybe we just take this, and then we want over 13.5 rebounds. Free $20. Hard to complain with. A lot of people, it's always funny, the people, oh, who cares about, free $20? It's like that. Literally, this is taking me 2 seconds. And, you can see here, promo entry only can do, whatever, $20. So you can only do 2 picks. You can't do more. So I'll just go ahead and I'll lock that in. And if you have it, make sure to take advantage. We've been having a pretty good month on ParlayPlay. What I like about this platform is you can literally just pull up your profit and loss on it. They have very low betting limits, and we're up 2.5K. And that doesn't include this month, right? On $60 bet sizes. That's crazy if you think about it, right? So it's pretty easy to get an edge on ParlayPlay. Damn. Oh my gosh. And you can see there's just a ton of bets right now. Everywhere. Whew. Kirk Cousins over, right? And this is how all the books have his line higher at 282.5. Here's another 20-yard middle. If you use both sports books, and this really is the power of having multiple sports books. First of all, they give you free money. You never know which books are going to have promos on a given day. But second of all, they all have different lines from one another. So here, we just stumbled upon this crazy opportunity between ParlayPlay and Hot Streak. Hit the over 273.5, hit the under 291.5 on Hot Streak if you want to. What up, guys? Hit the 250. Fuck, did I miss the 250? I thought it was $20 max. Good call, Matt. I got to remember that next week. Yo, Dorian, fuck your job. Anyways, let's go back here. And were there any more plays on Underdog Fantasy? Let's take a look. If there's any books you guys want to look at, again, I kind of avoid FanDuel and DraftKings on these just because they're not legal. So, I use WinBet a lot. I've been tweeting out bets on WinBet. WinBet has a lot of value. I hit a fuck ton of parlays on this platform. Right? There's some really good bets on WinBet. I just don't focus on it as much because not as many people have access to it. But there's a lot of good bets. WinBet's actually, it was my most profitable sports book last year. So it's a good book to have. It's just, not as many people have it, unfortunately. So we went through Jock Market. What about Prize Picks Underdog? So Prize Picks, you can see all of these plays look good. What do I got a 4-leg parlay on? Yeah, that's my 4-leg parlay. We got TCU minus 13.5, BYU plus 104, Dolphins under 56.5, Bills, Seahawks, Giants over 46.5. That's not a conflicting bet, I wouldn't call it odds jam, but that's okay. So if you go back here, we could start building a slip on Prize Picks because, well, why not? We can take Dalton Kincaid over 2.5 receptions. All the books have him heavily favored to go over. And again, like for the people who are like, oh, I'm smarter than the sports books, it's like, okay, like you can believe that, but you should still be finding value. Like you can pair these things together. It's not like an either or. You can't be a sports fan and bet on sports, or you can't be like a sports fan and a good sports bettor. Like you can skip over plays, but like just randomly betting shit with your gut is stupid. So anyways, let's go back here. So now I have another $100 in ParlayPlay. And what's great about ParlayPlay is they have a little bit higher payouts than you know. So like maybe for example, you're like, oh, like, you know, whatever. I don't want to take Tannehill's under. Or sorry, I don't want to take Williams' over in rushing yards because yada, yada, yada. It's like, okay, like then don't do it. That's fine. But the same concepts apply still of like finding value, how to get an edge, kind of stuff like that. So we can fire off a shit ton of slips because there's a shit ton of value right now. And ParlayPlay is a very beatable platform. So we'll go here. Right? Like this is crazy. We're just like creating a bunch of our own Taco fucking Tuesdays. So if you look here, right, Wilson's line is 26.5 on ParlayPlay. So if we go here, if you go to the WNBA, where is she? Right? You can see she's 24.5, 2-yard gap. That's crazy. Stock price is $24.50 on Fidelity. It's $26.50 on this platform. So we can hit that. How do we feel about this, right? Again, like, you can always just, like, bet the fucking bets and go down the list. I just kind of like to, like, you know, explain why I'm going with what I'm going with. If it's boring, then you can leave. But you can see here, right, Godaire's line is 4 on ParlayPlay. All the other fantasy sites have his line at 3.5. All the sports books have his line at 3.5. Pinnacle, known to be a sharper book, they have his line at 3.5. No juice towards the over or the under. Sleeper actually has his under 3.5 favored. ParlayPlay has the line at 4. Sleeper's like, first of all, it should be lower, and the under should be favored. All these other books in general, you know, Underdog, like, we're using all this information to, you know, I'm not saying this bet is a lock, nothing like that. I'm just saying it's play with an edge. So we can go back here, and damn, we are really firing off bets on this live stream. Oh my gosh. Oh baby. So we can go here, and so again, like when you're playing things in the same game, we already have Wilson's under. Do we want to play her under an assist? Yeah, makes sense enough, right? They're both like, they're both star players for their respective WNBA teams. So, you know, in the situation of a blowout, right, she'll most likely be on the bench. She'll most likely be on the bench. So sometimes it works well together, like take Giannis's under, take Damian Lillard's under if the Bucks are playing the Trailblazers. Obviously, that's not going to happen anymore, but you get it. Like take LeBron's under in points, Giannis's under in points, or both overs. Those things pair kind of well together. So we can take this. And again, you can see here, this is their payout structure. 25x, 2.5x, 0.5x on ParlayPlay. I've already hit my limit, so I'm not even going to be able to bet that anyways, which is stupid. But we can take Cousins over 273.5. All the books have his line at 282.5. So there we go. And there we go. So there we have our first entry on ParlayPlay. And again, it's only $60 max bet sizes. So you really need to get down the volume, right? Find a lot of plays with an edge. If you're trying to run up these sports books, we're up 2.5K this month. Every single pick, people always, same fucking bullshit I get every week. I watched the game last week and I think Justin Jefferson's going over. Whatever, it's like, dude, I don't care. I'm just going to follow the data because it never lies. And I know I'm not going to win every bet, but I know how these platforms work inside and out. I know their payout structures. I know how many picks are optimal. So you're going to win long term if you just follow the data. And that's proven on every single platform, not just ParlayPlay. Although we are up a lot of money on ParlayPlay this year, not actually a lot, $4,000, 3,700. But, you know, the ROI is good. They just have very low betting limits on this platform. So the reason I like this WinBet sportsbook is they have a lot higher betting limits. So it's not as popular, it's not as available in as many places, but you can get down more action. In general, they allow pretty big bet sizes. So here was the play we locked in on ParlayPlay, or it already disappeared, but you can just rewind the live stream a bit. Or we can go back to Underdog Fantasy for a sec. Did I miss any other promos? So it's like, damn, we got Kobe. We got Kobe under 38.5. Right? And it's just like, it's crazy that these things exist. I mean, it really is crazy how fragmented the market is when you really start to think about it. Like, it's crazy. It's fucking insane. It's like being a day trader where a stock is $38.50 on one platform, $35.50 on another. Until you internalize that, and like, it's just insane. It's insane. It's insane, insane, insane. So basically what I do is I just try to tap out the books. So we're, you know, I'm already on Kenny Pickett, right? Underdog, not moving lines that quickly, but like this Caleros play. Do I like it? Yeah. Do I think it's good? Yeah. Am I going to be able to bet more on it? No, because it's $100 max per day. So we can just start building another slip. And we can reload this and we can just start building another slip, hopefully. Trevor Story, under 1.5. Books have his under, heavily favored, and there are a lot of bets on ParlayPlay. So again, like, it's also nice to have multiple sports books because, again, you really don't know where the value is going to be on a given day or where the good promos are, right? Like, ParlayPlay just gave me a free $20 and they have a lot of good lines. I won't argue with a free $20 and a lot of good lines. So there we got our next slip on Underdog Fantasy. Kobe, under 38.5. Sam Howell, we already locked in. A lot of these picks are in Vantage Mind Freak. So again, oh my God. Did we already have a pick on Trevor Williams? We are just locking in bets on this live stream. God, we are at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Underdog Fantasy bets on this live stream. Wow. 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 Crazy. So you can see there's some more line discrepancies. Damn. Look at this middle, right? So this would be a nice middle between DraftKings and FanDuel. Bo Nix, 282.5 on FanDuel, 299.5 on, DraftKings. That's crazy. You can see some rushing yard discrepancies. Like, we could literally sit here all day and just hit bets. It's, really a time thing. Just takes a lot of time. And you can see there's a lot of good bets on Prize Picks right now too. Discrepancies, stuff like that. So what we can do is we can look for some here, and then we can also check out ParlayPlay again and just try to move quickly and lock in a slip. So, like, okay, we're already on this. Asia Wilson, it's like, oh my God, like, this is crazy, right? FanDuel, you got to put respect into their odds. Even if you watch the WNBA, you think you know everything. This is a $10 billion company. No offense, they have better data feeds than you. They have better models than you. They're better at pricing things than you. A lot of people want to create their own model to beat the sports book. It's the stupidest thing in the world. You're not, like, how are you going to outmodel a bunch of $10 billion sports books? And then the second thing is you have to remember these books move around lines based on where action's coming in, right? So a lot of people will be like, I'm smarter than the sports books because I watch more sports than them. It's like, you got to remember, like, these books are moving around lines based on where action's coming into the market. They don't just sit there and take a bunch of bets and not move their lines. They know, DraftKings, Underdog know which customers are smart, which customers are up money. And if they're betting something, that is information they have that you don't know. Whoever the most profitable guy is on Underdog Fantasy, whoever it is, I can guarantee you they have that guy's account flagged. And whenever he places a bet, they move their lines and they kind of like understand, they're not stupid. So it also means when you're betting against the market, it means you think you're smarter than everyone else because these sportsbooks move lines based on where action's coming into the market. Damn, there are a lot of bets right now. Let's hit some. So we can go here, and we can take over 6.5 rebounds. Damn, we are just cooking right now. Over 35.5. So again, like a lot of the esports value has been on Underdog Fantasy. But hey, ParlayPlay. So Michael Penix over 3.5 passing touchdowns. That is a high touchdown line. But again, I never, like the second you let your gut start getting in the way, you just it's risky. And the reason it's risky is, so you can see he's heavily favored to go over 3.5 passing touchdowns, which is crazy, but that's just the data. But the second you start betting with your gut, just a slippery slope, right? These sports books are in business because people bet with their gut. Oh my God. Zach Wilson, over 10.5 rushing yards. Man, this slip's getting interesting. And we had some big wins on ParlayPlay recently and also some horrible beats. This would have been like a 5K month on this shitty little, not shitty, I apologize, this sports book with like $10 bet sizes. But we had Connor. It may be the worst bad beat in a while. But if we look at NFL rushing yards and we take a look at Wilson, right? All the other books have his line at 14.5. It's like, this is just, being rational sports better. So you can see Connor, we had him under, like this would have cashed out 1,500. Instead it was 60 to 150. It's kind of like a prize picks flex play. We had him under 17.5 receiving yards. He ends up with 18. If anyone, again, works at ESPN, try to stat correct that for us. So we got 4 picks. And you can see it's just like, damn, like, just a lot of bets. I don't think they move their lines. It's crazy. Ooh, we got Penn State game. Over 75.5. Right? All the other books have his line at 80.5. Jalen Hurts under 236.5. What up, guys? New props on Prize Picks. Any picks for college football games today on Prize Picks? We can take a look. Damn, I've just been sitting here. Hurts under 236.5. Okay, let's hit it. 25, 2.5.5. Again, compare that to Prize Picks. It's higher payouts. Man, we are just rolling. Gotta love football season. There is just a shit ton of bets. Crazy. I mean, we could sit here all day long. Look at all this green shit. In ParlayPlay, it's, a very exploitable platform. The hard part is just going to be getting down the volume because they only have $60 max bet sizes, but it's a great platform to build your bankroll on because they have better payouts than Prize Picks. You don't need that much of an advantage. If you can win your over-unders, like Connor over under 17.5 receiving yards, above 53.2% of the time, you're going to be profitable, right? The issue is you're placing a lot of 6-leg parlays. So most of your bets you're going to lose, and you're going to have a lot of bad beats. 60, again, this would have been 1,500, but again, I just follow the data. I'm aware I'm going to have bad beats. I'm aware I'm going to have lucky wins. Placed a shit ton of bets, $60 bet sizes. Another cool thing about this platform is they have this promo where every single day, so who should we look at? Or maybe I already used this promo today. Yeah, I already used there. But they have this slide the line promo where you can bump the line in your favor. Anyways. So this play, it's crazy this is still available. Underdog still has Gallen's line at 5 strikeouts. If you're just tuning in, I think think we've hit a lot of bets. He still have his line at 5. It's like, that's crazy because if we check out where's FanDuel. Another thing to mention is a lot of people, it's like, oh, like, you know, I want to create a better model than the sports books. It's like, you're still going to get limited if it's extremely profitable. And again, I don't know why you think you can outmodel billion-dollar companies. But you can see FanDuel has his line at 4.5. It's just like Underdog sitting at 5. We have all these billion-dollar companies taking bets and moving around lines based on where action's coming in, setting his line at 4.5. It's like a very simple way, because this market is fragmented, to get an edge, right? You should always be looking for the easiest edge. It's like if you're a fucking poker player, you want to play, and there's a table of dumb people who bet a lot of money, and then there's a table of smart people. You want to go to the table with, like, you want the simple path, the dumb people, right? And we're not going to win every bet, but because we have an edge, we will win long term. So, anything else on Underdog Fantasy? Night Raid, we're already on. So, like, you know, we've got, you know, Trevor Williams, we're already on. This play, maybe we got one more in the tank. Jake Berger under 1.5 batting strikeouts. You're going to see he's pretty heavily favored to go under. So what we can do is this Vantage game had a lot of props, but now I'm trying to remember which of these players I've already bet on. It's like, did I already bet on Danger? Fine plays with an edge, rinse and repeat. So Danger, Night Raid we're already on, Boom Bowl we're already on. Just crazy. Tux under 38.5. Are we already on our boy Tux? Tux, are we on you? Check it out. And what's crazy about sports betting too is the market never closes. Stock market's closed. It's 6 p.m. Eastern on a Friday. Sports betting, you can hammer these fucking books all day long and get an edge. So let's refresh this and let's check out our boy Tux. And it'll be interesting tomorrow's live stream because we have a lot of bets to see how we're shaking out. But it's fun. So we want Tux. Did we already bet on him though? So we want Tux. And did they already move the line on Berger? Why is this loading so slow? So we want Berger. Nope, they already moved his strikeout line. Damn, we got a frickin' rat in here. Moving lines on us. Annoying. And you can see there were a lot more bets on ParlayPlay. We can head over to Prize Picks in a sec. If you're just tuning in, there's a lot of good promos. I think we went through basically them all. I mean, but it's literally a full-time job. ParlayPlay gave me a free $20. Here's our Prize Picks Flex Friday. There's some good middle bets. There's just a lot of value. Head over to ParlayPlay. ParlayPlay had a bunch of stuff, but Prize Picks has a bunch of stuff too, I'm sure. I mean, so we can check it out. And we can check out FanDuel too. Again, it's just not as many people use, you know, FanDuel. So I'll kind of save those for Twitter. But you can see there's a lot of good soccer bets. Soccer is actually my most profitable sport on FanDuel. It has been for 4 years. Like, these soccer line discrepancies are just crazy. Plus 164, plus 130s across the board. Insane. Okay, thanks. Thanks, man. Anyways, we'll call it a day for now. If anyone has any questions about whatever that I didn't get to, feel free to hit me up. See you guys.